right? Let's move on to Canada dropped to the 18th on Global World Happiness Report.
Damn.
So Canada has slipped to 18th place in the Global World Happiness Report, down 3 spots from last year and placing it among the largest losers in happiness rankings over the last 2 decades, according to an annual report. At its peak in the 2015 report, Canada had placed 5th. Now it's 18th. Canada has dropped to the lowest ever position since the polling began in 2005.
2015. What was that? Last time Conservatives were in power, I think, right? Is that right before Trudeau took office?
That is right before Trudeau took office.
Coincidence?
A little bit, maybe.
5th to 18th, that's quite a drop. Finland's at number 1. I wonder what's going on there.
Maybe they got things right. They got something figured out.
So the article, it stated that the quality of life has decreased significantly amongst Canadians under 30. And the main reason that they cite is like they can't afford anything. Just like these elections, I think that's the main issue going on, especially among younger voters. They can't afford mainly housing, right?
I think the biggest thing, like you can look at inflation and everything, but one of the biggest things is massive mortgages because of price of homes, like you're saying, right? And then that takes away a big chunk of Canadians' paycheck, right? But I think people under 30 are probably not buying homes, right? That's for somebody who's already well established and fortunate enough to buy homes and be in that position, right? But for younger Canadians, the job market is it's kind of difficult right now, right? And I don't know if they, with high inflation, with all these things, I don't know how they actually feel, right? Like if you feel like a lot of them probably live with their parents.
For sure. It might be like they might not be able to afford a home unless these policies change and the price of housing comes down, right?
Yeah, the price of housing has to come down. But the other thing to think about is, do people actually want the price of housing to come down? Right? Like they say they do.
Yeah.
Right? But like if you have a lot of money, you have a lot of assets, some of that's going to be in real estate. Do you want prices to come down, or do you want them to go up?
Hold the house, like if someone trying to buy a house, they obviously want that.
So what Liberals typically, well, over the last 2 terms, right, have been raising inflation slowly, right, at its peak and during a time when the pandemic happened, right, you had record high inflation. These guys thought that was the best time to have record high immigration. Let's just both of these things, right? That's why we got to this mess that we're in, right? And a part of that is Carney, right,
for sure.
And that's why inflation went all the way up, and then now it came all the way down, and I think even in February it came at 2.6%, right? Which in large part, like I said before, I think is going to happen when you do this holiday tax stuff and people start spending more money, right? And then when the reports come out, it seems like inflation's higher.
Yeah. And another thing that comes with mass immigration is like crime, right?
Right.
The crime's been running rampant. I don't know. I see so much of it now.
Yeah. Coincidentally, from 2015, it was the lowest it's ever been in 2014 since 2002, right? And then it went all the way up until now. It keeps going up.
So it correlated with happiness, no?
It correlated
That's
with
crazy.
happiness, correlated with the Liberal administration.
And immigration going up.
And immigration going up.
All 3 things.
These are the things people need to see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just take a look at this. Look at the state of Canada where it was at 10 years ago.
Right.
People were super happy. Crime was low. And people had more money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone's like,
buy houses.
Screw that.
Yeah. And I'm sure if you're on the left side of things, you can bring up as many stats as you can to say why it's so great.
Yeah.
Right. But if all of this is going on, right, if GDP is so low, if people are so unhappy, and again, we're talking about elections now again, but I feel like, why do you just keep doing the same thing?
Yeah.
It's a definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Right. Repeating the same task, expecting a different result. Right. I was surprised when Trudeau won the last election.
I just
Yeah. I was like, he's not gonna win.
Yeah.
And I was like, he won. How?
That's what I feel like they just get to a point where it's like absolute power corrupts absolutely, right?
Right.
You're just if they never think they're gonna ever lose, you're not gonna make any policy changes. You won't be forced to. This is the only time he's doing it, and he's taking Poilievre's ideas because there's some real fear that he might not win.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Imagine if Carney actually thought that he was going to win by a landslide.
Yeah. Would he be doing all
tax
this?
would be in place right now.
I don't know.
All of these things he's saying are going away. They would be there right now.
Right?
Because that's probably their way of dealing with the budget, right?
Yeah.
Tax the middle class and then give the lower class as much as you possibly can to buy votes.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why Canadians don't see past it, right?
I don't know. Did you see what's that company? Klarna, I think it's called. Did you see what they're doing now? They're partnering with DoorDash. That's the state that most people are. I'm just seeing in generally a lot of this BNPL, buy now, pay later. You can like anything, right?
Yeah.
Generally, if you're financing something, like the only ones that are okay to do is probably, honestly, most people, some people believe that not even a car. You should buy that outright, but a house for sure. You can make installment payment. Klarna?
Yeah.
It's like an app where you can, so they're partnering with DoorDash, so you can make installment payments.
On food that you would order, but this is in the States.
Yeah. It's in the States, but it also works on things here. Klarna.
But imagine like if you ordered Uber Eats or Skip the Dishes, right? You didn't have enough money to pay for it. So you just order it, comes to your house, and now you have to pay it later.
Imagine doing that. Imagine doing that with your Big Mac.
Right. So imagine just continue to rack
Be ordering the Big Mac.
Right. I feel like one thing that immigrants oftentimes, like newer immigrants, don't understand the fractional reserve banking system as much, right? They don't understand what's going on. And a lot of them will go and you'll see them buy these Jeeps and Challengers and Chargers
on
and
their
all
credit
this kind of
cards.
stuff on their credit cards, or not even on the credit cards, like just straight up car loans. Right?
Well,
And
they
like-
come here at 18 and they're given a credit card right away.
Right.
It's like I used to work in like banking.
Yeah.
They enter, they're really young, they get a credit card, they get their GIC, whatever it is, and then they just go. They live in these places with like with not much rent because 20 people are living together.
Yeah.
So what else are they going to do? They don't understand anything.
The financial literacy is not there, and it's part of the flex culture, right? To show people that have like whatever. Like I still drive a bust down car that I've had for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's one of our cars. Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Sophie's the thing she drives is still really nice.
Yeah.
But that's not because I can't. If I wanted to, I could go finance an Escalade and have a Porsche parked in my driveway. It's not like I can't make the payments. Like they could be parked there. It's just a very stupid thing for me to do because I'm trying to build something as much as I possibly can. If you're not putting your money in places where it's going to grow, especially in Canada, like any conversation you guys have with anyone, right? When they talk about investing, right? Do you ever hear somebody go, yo, man, I was thinking of this startup, right? And I'm thinking of this thing that I'm working on. Maybe we can all get on the same page. There's a couple guys coming in on it. Like, what do you guys think? No. The conversation you're going to have is, bro, I was thinking a couple of the guys are getting together to buy 5 units in Ottawa. Right? Like, that's it. Real estate's the only out that people know. That's the only thing.
It's the way we're set up here, right? GDP is so dependent on housing. That's the only thing people invest in Canada.
And then if we're going to talk about happiness, right? For those people who can't even afford a primary residence, how are they possibly going to be happy?
Exactly. And they also feel that job security is low and like hard work doesn't really pay off anymore.
No.
Because even if you make like $100K used to go a long way. It used to be
That used to
considered
be like rich.
That's an amazing job.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not much now.
No.
Can't get you a house.
No.
Can't do much with it.
Yeah.
So affordability is the one thing. Like economy is going to be huge. Just like you said, this is going to be the money election.
This is the money election.
Yeah.
And they're going to hijack it, trying to turn it into a trade war election. It's not. Because these tariffs are going to get dealt with no matter what.
Yeah.
At some point, this isn't going to go on for 5 years, guys, where there's no trade deal. It's going to, within the next 2 years, they're going to get dealt with. Whether it's 6 months, whether it's 3 months, whether it's a year, it's going to get dealt with. Right?
Yeah.
But